What's up, guys? Welcome to Jake's Shop and Track Talk. This is my third attempt at this college football video. Okay, we're going to talk about, like for the last 2 weeks, well, it's not been 2 whole weeks yet, I've been trying to, digest what happened in Columbus when Michigan went down and beat Ohio State. Like, that had not happened since before I joined the Navy. And I retired from the Navy. You know what I'm saying? Only a little before I joined the Navy. I mean, I wasn't like 19. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just retired. A year ago? Okay, so almost 2 years ago. Yeah, I didn't envision any of that happening. I predicted the opposite. I predicted Michigan to get blown the fuck out of the stadium. But that didn't happen. Okay, I'm wrong. Wrong a lot. Okay, so, I mean, motherfuckers, you seen Blake grabbing his knee, man? I mean, shit. All right, so Donovan Edwards is real fast, and Michigan's offensive line is real good. Then Saturday night won the Big Ten championship and defeated the Purdue Spoilermakers. Purdue played as good as they could have, man. I mean, they're Purdue. You know, they weren't the second best team in the Big Ten at all. You know. But, you know, conference championship games are fucking stupid. You know, I mean, if they really meant anything, that means Kansas State should be getting in. And take your pick between Clemson and there's 5 conferences, majors. Utah. Jesus Christ, how did I forget about Utah? They were huge in this. Man, I'll tell you, let's look into the future, man. Let's look at Utah. Who the fuck would want to play them? I mean, they're fucking tough. It may help that UCLA beat them. That USC's got a rather kind of a tackling problem. Either who, they whooped the living shit out of the fucking Trojans, you know. All right, so that's not the 12-team playoff. That's down the road. So the college football playoff pairings, we drew TCU. Okay, yeah, all right. Great team. Number 15, Max Duggan. Hacksaw Max Duggan, that dude's a fucking warrior. It's going to take every bit of effort that Michigan's got to beat them. I'm not going to predict a loss. I'm not like I usually do because, you know, talent for talent, I'm pretty sure Michigan probably has a higher 24/7 talent rating than them. I haven't looked it up. TCU's played a better schedule. Michigan fans will be pissed at me for saying that. I mean, Ohio State fans always tell us when we play a real team, we're gonna get beat. So we haven't played a real team yet, right? Ohio State. So we're gonna get beat when we play one. And I kind of considered TCU Michigan the second place game or whatever, because whoever wins the other game is gonna win the fucking national championship. Yeah, out of the whole deal, my team's got the third least amount of talent on the football field in this whole thing, or the third most. You know, with recruiting rankings, it's going to be Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, TCU. I mean, we don't hand the fucking trophy to Alabama every year just for having the number 1 recruiting class, so, or Georgia. It depends. It's been going back and forth a little bit. Yeah, so like coaching wise, I think we're doing okay though. I mean, we're doing all right. We played Sonny Dykes when he was at SMU a few years ago. He didn't, I mean, obviously have that's quite the, like, he had got the SMU turned around some, like, at that point, but it was like early in his tenure. And that was in Ann Arbor. It was like freshman Ronnie Bell emerging. He scored 2 touchdowns in that game. I remember. I was like, who in the hell is that? That's that Houdat recruit. That's the guy that Gerdeman was making fun of us for fucking signing. Yeah, Tony's been kind of like, what? Okay, I'm stupid ever since. But all right. Anywho, yeah. Well, okay. Sonny Dykes, he's a pretty good coach. Kirby Smart, not a national championship winning coach. Ryan Day and Jim Knowles, well, you guys better. Like, Ryan Day is possibly, like depending on who he loses to. Like, suppose he beats Georgia and wins the national championship, or gets to the national championship game, which he's totally. I don't see that coming. I don't. All right. I do believe Ohio State will respect Georgia. You know what I mean? Like, they kind of overly they like over respected Michigan, but this year they over respected Michigan's run game to the point that it allowed us to just rip them over the top. So they chose to get beaten over the top because they just said, well, we don't respect your quarterback or your receivers, you know. And then, you know, JJ threw a couple of passes over there. You guys can see the game. And he set 11 men along the line. Like it was 8 in the box, 9 in the box, 8 in the box, 9 in the box all day long against the run. And if you do that against Georgia, I mean, the fuck you think? I mean, Stetson Bennett's in New York for the Heisman presentation. I mean, what the fuck do you go? I don't know what game plan they're going to come up with. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not like a super nerd. I'm not going to go back to like Oklahoma State stuff when he played against a really kind of a pro style physical offense like Georgia has. So I'm not real sure what the fuck he's going to do. But if he does what he did against Michigan, just go watch. Just go at Georgia. My Georgia fans who picked me up last year, just go watch our game against Ohio State last year, or excuse me, our game against Ohio State this year, and just see how you're gonna win, because it's gonna be the same result. I mean, this guy likes throwing he likes throwing to a wide receiver in the flat at like 3rd and 2. You know, our defense is not that good, man. It's pretty good, but come on now. It's just straight kind of a bitch-made play call, you know? Like, they did it a lot. Okay. That's enough making fun of Ryan Day, but he's legitimately the first guy. If he beats Georgia, if he scores what I would consider a monumental upset, and then gets the national championship game and Jim Harbaugh punks him again, I could literally see him getting fired for losing the national championship game because of who he lost it to. Like, not that I think that any of that's going to happen, but and I don't. Ohio State, you should keep Ryan Day. He's awesome. He's a great coach. He's got a great winning record against the Big Ten. Yep, that's right. Only 2 losses. That's all. He's great. Just keep him. Keep him around forever. Jim Knowles, extend that guy's contract. Right. So that's enough of that shit. I want to talk about Deion Sanders because I don't know, man. I fucking hated him as a player. Like, probably because he didn't play for my team. You know, I'm more of a Barry Sanders guy. But you think about Deion, man. Like, I think, like, guys my age who remember his whole playing career, you know, like coming out of Florida State and, you know, like he's always done this branding, this marketing, this thing that he does, the thing that he did at Jackson State, the thing that he's already started doing at Colorado. And the man was decades ahead of his time. I mean, he really was. Like he got it before anybody knew what the fuck else, what we were supposed to get. Meanwhile, nowadays jabronis like me are making videos posting on YouTube for jabronis like you to watch. I'm sorry, guys. All right, but yeah. And he goes into Colorado and he says, "Hey, man, I'm gonna get rid of all of you if you ain't a fucking dog." And people are like, "Well, that's not a good job. Deion Sanders shouldn't have taken it. Blah blah blah. It was an insult to." Let me tell you why that was the best job for Deion Sanders to take. Okay. God damn it! I turned my blinky lights off. Yeah, there we go. Let me tell you why that was the best job for Deion Sanders to take. Suppose Auburn, like he was offered the TCU job. My man could be in the fucking college football playoff right now, going to coach against Jim Harbaugh. Okay, right now, but he didn't take it. He was offered somewhere else too last year. But why am I saying Colorado is the right fit for prime time? I don't think he's going to be there forever. Maybe 4 or 5 years. I don't know. And coaches don't be staying places because, one, years ago, many years ago, like if you're young and you're watching this video, you don't remember the Colorado teams of the late 80s and the 90s, and they were iconic. Okay, I mean, they were winning fucking Heisman trophies. They won a national championship in 1990. I know most of you guys probably weren't even born, but if you were watching SportsCenter in the 1990s, I mean, there was a famous play against Michigan where Cordell Stewart threw a touchdown to, what the fuck was that guy? It doesn't matter. I don't even want to think about that, actually. It was a huge upset. It probably cost us a shot at the national championship that year in the opening game of the season. I think it was 93. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. No, it was 95. Actually, we weren't even that good that year. No, it didn't cost us shit. 95. You can watch it. It's on YouTube. If you hate Michigan, if you just want to go watch something like that. But it was an iconic play, and and it was two of the best teams of the era, but that fan base, like the older people, like the people, who have money, to write checks for, fucking shit that you need to run football programs. Well, they got a taste. They still remember what that was like, and they want that back. They want it back desperately, but they do now. Okay, like they're desperate to do it now. I don't know what the fuck happened over the last 17 years. I guess they'd only had like one winning season over the last 17 years. I mean, I thought shit was, I'm crying about how bad shit was, and we're fucking winning 10 games, you know what I mean? Like, we didn't fall off like they did, okay? But, I mean, I looked at the squad that he took over. Like, he went over there, and you can watch his speech, too. I'm not gonna fucking say Deion's speech. He's coming, okay? But why? Why is that the ideal situation? I want you to right after the video, watch what I'm saying. After the video, go and put in your search engine Colorado football scores. Not only did they go 1-11 last year, like they lost, I think 9 of their ball games by 40 points or more. They got blown the fuck out of the stadium every week, except they somehow won one game, I think against Arizona State. I don't remember. But they're bad. And you go into a situation like that, nobody in the whole fucking state have any kind of say-so over Coach Prime. Or even have any idea that they have any say-so over Coach Prime. He's the president of that motherfucking university now. He's the most important man in the entire state of Colorado. He's above John Elway. Don't believe me? You're wrong. Okay, so you go to Auburn, there's going to be people who are going to have ideas about things. And they're wrong. He's the judge, jury, executioner. He's the fucking CEO. I don't know his X's and O's. He was a defensive player. I'm assuming he's pretty Bobby Bowden-esque. If I was just gonna guess, you know, he played for one of the greatest college coaches of all time. You know, I imagine you get a heavy dose of Bobby Bowden playing for Coach Prime, because the men who raise us as men, they weigh heavily into who we become. You know, I mean, I'm not saying it's all. That's everything. It's, you know, he's pretty big on God, and I imagine his pastor had a lot to do with it. But he played his, you know, and his high school coaches. But I mean, he played for Bobby Bowden. Not a bad guy to. And let's think about Bobby Bowden. When Bobby Bowden showed up at Florida State, they was nothing. Like, they didn't have barely any fucking uniforms or nothing, man. They were like, it was just, you know, out practicing behind the field house and shit. What you know of Florida State now. Bobby Bowden built all of that. Like primetime, when primetime was a kid, when he was Lil Prime, you know, that, and he played for Bobby in like almost nearly peak Bowden, you know, like late 80s, just badass Florida State teams, blazing speed everywhere. And he's got a chance to do that himself, the way his coach did. Now, I'm sure he wants the Florida State job. I'm positive he does. But you take a once you go somewhere that's been in the basement of college football for almost 20 fucking years, that used to be a powerhouse, and you turn it around and turn it right back to what it was. You build your own program again. Florida State, them Seminoles are gonna come calling, or maybe something bigger. Maybe the NFL want them. But that's why Boulder, Colorado is the absolute right choice for Deion Sanders. Like if he went to Nebraska, there'd have been people in Nebraska who still would have had ideas. They don't fucking know anything about winning anymore. They fucked up when they left the Big 12, and then they fired Bo Pelini, and when he had shit kind of going on an upward trajectory after they'd been down. It's whatever. They hired Scott Frost. I've heard some kind of shit about Scott Frost. I don't know. None of my business. But I've been rambling. It's 20 minutes. Thanks for watching Jake's Shop and Track Talk. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. I'm going to actually post this. I've tried a couple of videos on this, and I didn't like either of them. Anyway, it's late. I got to go to work in the morning. I'll see you later. Peace.